Mark Diehl.
Thank you for listening tonight, everybody. I want you to think about one thing, which is a two-party system has one more party than a totalitarian system. We like to think that we have these alternatives and we can choose between the party of big business and the party of big government. But in fact, big business and big government are the same thing. And big business runs big government. It's one thing. When I said, if I go to Augusta, I'd like to get money out of politics, but I can't, it's true. I mean that. Now, nobody up here is trying to expand this corporate government enterprise. And everybody here is trying to do the right thing.
Hi, I'm Myra Diehl, and I'm here today with my dad, Mark D. Diehl, who is running for Maine State Senate on the Green Independent ticket. So, Dad, give us the spiel. Tell them a little about what we've been talking about for the last 13 years.
All right. Thank you, Myra, for coming in to help me with this today. I guess one of the main issues that we want to talk about is before we get candidates on the ballot, there are these powerful forces behind the scenes selecting those candidates by how much money they want to put behind them. And the higher you go, the more money it takes to get elected. So the top of the government is actually the most susceptible to being controlled in this way. And that's what's happening now. Two reforms that I think would be essential to fixing this. We have a good shot at gaining some of the power back. One of those is ranked choice voting, or proportional voting, or however you want to call it, where you pick your first choice, your second choice, your third choice, and then they rank by who actually is the favorite among all. And if you have a system like that, then you can have multiple parties run and it won't threaten anyone. And that's crucial.
So, when you say we're being controlled and we need to unhook from that mindset, who would you say, who's the controlling force here? Who is the one that we need to overthrow?
Well, it's money. And keep in mind, when we used to talk about governments being overthrown, we talked about bullets and we talked about airplanes dropping bombs and refugees and things like that. And that's not what's happening right now. What's happening instead is that we are being overthrown from inside. And there are no bullets. There are no boots on the ground, wingtips maybe. But there's nothing overt to point at and say, this is happening. So we need to have people paying attention, and we need to regain power over our elections through proportional voting, ranked choice voting, and also through voter recall, where voters can say, you know what, this is not what we wanted, and we want to change our mind, or we want to change the outcome of this because this is not what we signed on for.
Right. So is there anything else that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Just remember this, okay? If you're afraid to vote for a third-party candidate, that's not an accident. You're being manipulated. The people that you're so afraid of when you say, I can't vote for a third party, that was picked by the same money that put up the other guy who scares the other side. You have to understand that if you feel that way, you're being manipulated, and the only way to break free of it is to say, we're not going to tolerate it anymore. We're not going to support this system that herds us like cattle. Everybody has to say, if you take the money, or if your party takes the money, we're not going to listen anymore. I'm Mark D. Diehl. I'm a Green Independent. I'm from Maine's only party that rejects corporate influence at every level. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark Diehl.